All right, folks, so today is May the 20th, 2024, and I've got a bright idea. I've got an idea for today, and I'm going to try to work it out here in just a minute. So let's look at the 5-minute time frame for, let's see, I did have one of my strategies running today, and it didn't do quite what I needed to do, so I need to look at a few things. I was telling you on Friday that I might not have time to get it set up today. I didn't. I was reglazing a bathroom tub today, but it did take a position finally here toward the end of the day. But my flatten part of the script should have gotten me out of the position at 1355, and it didn't. You know what? It said equal to or greater than 1355, so it should have gotten me out. So order ticket here, not 1355, but 1555, which would be 3:55 p.m. So prior to close. So that was a 5-minute candle. So at 1555, we were in a position. So I had the symbol account ID equals true. It should have assigned. You know what? You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, because the bracket order was still in effect. I'm going to try that. Because the bracket order was still in effect, we then tried to put a flatten we then tried to send an order to flatten the position, but the bracket order was still. We tried to send a market order to flatten the position, but the bracket order was still in effect. And then after we get done flattening the position, then we want to cancel all the orders. So this line here, this is something new that I learned here over the last day or so. You just need to do order ticket.cancel all orders, and then that will cancel all the orders that's on the screen. So I think, so what I need to find out now is if I have a bracket order on, if I'm in a position, have a bracket order on, and then I go to do a market close, will that close my position, or will it reject the order because I have open orders already on? So let's try taking a position. We're going to buy market, and then we are going to put a bracket order on, OCO. OCO here. That shouldn't be buy though. That should be yeah. Well, I bought, so I need to sell. We're gonna cancel all. We're gonna go sell. So exit bracket 1 at the limit and 1 at the stop. Click that. Click OCO. All right. So now you get out 1 below for a loss, you get 1 above for a take profit. So if I hit, so essentially we should have been in a similar situation, right? So we should have been in a position, had a bracket order on for exit, and then we supposedly tried to flatten. But you know what? I don't see that flatten order even show up to Trade Manager, so I don't think it's sent. So essentially I would be saying I would want to sell market, and it sold, right? So that was fine, and then it would cancel all. So that's what was supposed to happen here. We're supposed to be in a position, and then it was supposed to send a flatten order, send that, and then cancel all the orders. But if you look at the orders here at 3:55 p.m. That was just me playing around there. I had some other orders going on, doing some different things. All right, so where are we at? 4:47 p.m. #20th? Where are my orders at here? here they are. What? Oh, okay. Got to go over one. Okay, so all these 3 orders were put in at 335. So we had the initial order to buy, or the initial order to sell. It was a short, so the initial order to sell, and then a bracket order to buy. Buy to cover. So here's one to buy to cover. Here's one to buy to cover. This one here got filled, and then this one here got canceled. But they filled at 335 to enter the position. You see, at 401 we exited the position. I think this was forced out. This order was 35.75. Which one was filled? This one was filled here, and it was a stop for a loss. Okay, I'm wondering if TradeStation, if the server didn't just margin call or liquidate us for that time period. But actually, we should have had enough equity that wouldn't have happened, so it must have just hit the stop. At any rate, at 401, it should have took us out at 355, right? Based on this. Position provider contains the symbol account ID equals true. And I checked this morning, so that information should have worked just fine. We did not get an error. Like I think last week we got an error saying that the quantity amount wasn't right, but this didn't even send. I don't know why this order did not even send. You know what? I'm gonna try one thing here. So this is just a random order that I'm just trying out just to see how things work, because I know that you can send an order, right? So on here we have order ticket. You can send an order just using this method, but you don't have to send it to an order unless you want to keep track of it. So this order ticket can be sent immediately. You don't have to declare it as an order unless you want to keep track of it. So this is order name strategy. So let's try this. That's under random scripts. Here, sessions, features, order names. I'm going to turn it on. And you see it already put us into seven contracts. So we're going to say if high crosses over average of, well, and begin. We got to say if I wanted to spend my time writing a strategy, but here I am doing this. Okay, we don't have any ticks going on. It's 9:30 at night, so we don't have any ticks going on, so we may not get a chance to see this strategy work itself out. I mean, there is nothing going on. Well, can't force the market. That's for sure. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna spend a couple minutes and see if I can get through the spend a couple minutes to see if I can get through the potential strategy that I was looking at. So let's look at Discord alerts. I haven't even looked at it all day. Been gone. On the 2-minute time frame, gave us a couple of scalping signals. Scalp short here and then here. But man, that would have been good if you had got in on those scalp shorts. Took that ride down. That was good. That's all we got on the 2-minute time frame. On the 1-minute daily time frame, it told us to scalp short. Okay, scalp short. Might have got stopped out, but I mean, it really ran down after that. This here was telling us a potential long, I guess, based on this bounce area here, but this is definitely did not reverse. So scalp short, scalp short, scalp short. Scalp shorts looked pretty good today, hitting on all cylinders. All right, and then on the 5-minute time frame, we got the B beta again. The B beta here, the first one, it worked well. This B beta, not so much. But I think this is the range in here where I think it was the 2-minute time frame was saying that it could be a potential bounce, but it didn't. And then B beta tried to give you another long or potential long scenario where you might have looked to get in and go back up to there or here. Something like that. Okay, well, all right, so that's it. Let's go over to random scripts. Oh, let's look real quick to see what happened on the kind of like the internals. I think my chart already, yep, it already did a the backup for the day. So once it does the backup for the day, it loses all the current data. So I should have done this prior to the backup. Now what's going on here? Because I guess this, because this holds the orders, holds the order lines. So I guess when it got in a position to sell short there, it was looking for a profit down here, and looking like it stopped out up here. But I don't see an order line up here. I think even if it gets stopped out, if you put an order in, well, we know it was an order in because we saw it from this trade manager. So we know that there was an order in for that higher number. What was that? It's 335. You're out here, so this was 5325. 5325. Excuse me, 5323. No, is that right? Okay, so the 5323 was the yeah, okay, so that's the one that we did not get filled. They got canceled. Okay, and so then the 5335.75, this one was filled. I mean, to the tick though. You see that? That's crazy. This order was put in at 335 and the amount was 5335.75. 5335.75. That was our stop loss. 53.35.75. And it went right up to 53.33.75. That is crazy. I mean, to the tick. That's crazy. But now, if we were one tick on the other side, it would not have taken us out. But would it have come back down into our favor? Maybe. Because we got in right here. Right? We got in this area. And so our stop loss was right up here. I mean, like I said, to the tick. But it didn't come back up that high. It didn't come back up that high. And now it looks like it's trying to break down. So, man. What if we were one tick away but I mean, you see this line down here? We'd have to be all the way down here in order for it to hit our profit target. So I'm curious if it makes it down that far. I'm not holding my breath. That's a long ways. But yeah. Okay, so let's go back to and see, is it moving under random scripts. I don't feel like this is moving at all. It's not. This is 17. This is 1700. What's going on here? Sessions. It's going as much as 1700, which is 5 o'clock. So 24 hours. There we go. Okay. All right, still hasn't put us in any positions, and this strategy is on. It's not set up to automate. Okay, set it up to automate, and we're already in a long position. So what was I gonna do on here? Okay, so we know that it will send an order when we assign it to order. When we assign the order ticket, send to an order. We know that it'll take a position that way. But we need to know for sure if it'll take a position if we only, and I know it will. Okay. All right, close that, turn that on, that's on. Make sure automate is on. Have to go back and do it every time. Okay. All right, so now we're going to see if it'll put us in another position. Just based on the syntax of order ticket send. Because remember, order, that's the same type syntax that we had. Yeah, it did. I mean, I thought it would. But that's the same syntax that we had over here. It's just flatten.send. But like I said, for some reason, we didn't get here. It didn't exit our position. Automate was true and automate ready. Oh, gotcha. Check this out. Check this out. And so this is why automation is, you really want to try it out on your simulation account. You really want to make sure that you have it back tested well, that you understand the strengths and the weaknesses of your script, because I have this thing where my market that I trade is, it's going to be between 9:30 and 4, just because that's when margin hours are and where I can use intraday margin rate. But I don't want to take a trade before, well, the way that I'm trading, I don't want it to take a trade prior to like 9:35 or so, and I don't want to take it to trade too close toward the end of the day, because now I'm trying to get out of the position. So I don't want to take a trade after a certain time. Well, that time is set up in here. Automate ready means, yes, I'm ready. I can automate. I can take a trade during this time. Automate ready says this. Automate ready says that I got to be in the right account. It has to be the right time, and I have to have the right amount of money in my account. So the right time equals true is this. Right time equals true is Eric's trade day. What is Eric's trade day? Well, I made it myself. And it's that the time has to be less than 15:45. Okay, so in order to get into that, so the time has to be less than 3:45. Well, when you come down here and you want to exit, this is saying exit if the time is greater than or equal to 3:55. And the only way for us to get to this function, this program here, is if the time is what? Before 3:45. Well, once the time gets to be after 3:45, the program does not even see this whole thing anymore. That all this disappears. So it will never come down here. So I could do one or two things. I could make it so that I trade a little bit later, or I really do want to wait toward the end of the day, maybe even 3:50 to exit. So this needs to be outside of this. This needs to be outside of it by itself. See how like this is outside of it? I put this outside. This is relating to just historical trades and not trading automation, but just like chart trading, if you will. But the cancellation of the order is outside. You have the if, begin, end. And then this is outside of it. So that works properly. All right, so this needs to come on the outside. So I'm just going to cut this. Paste it there. Push it over. But it does need to say flash bar on chart and automate equals true. Okay. All right, I think we're cooking with grease now. All right, so I'm gonna save this, copy this, because now I need to change my template to reflect that. Now, all right, go down here, order tickets. Control to flatten the end of the day. Take this. Delete this. All right, we should be good now. Okay, so that's my template there. All right, so now the only thing that's left is for me to really quickly, I'm only going to give this 15 minutes, guys. I know sometimes I go in here and go for 2 hours at a time. I don't want to do that tonight, so I'm just going to give it 15 minutes. I'm going to give it a solid 15 minutes, and whatever I don't get accomplished won't get accomplished. All right, so we're going to do a new show me. And I'm going to show you what I've got. Just kind of what my general idea was here. So let me let me see if I can set this up. Okay. Wrong one. All right, so this is what I was looking at. So these are a couple of the ideas I came up with just for today. So like I said, this isn't necessarily going to work for every day. I'm just going to put together a code, and that way, again, I'm just working on the strength. I'm working on the strength of my code, working on the strength of my coding. Like I said, not to say that this is the best strategy for today. And if you want this code, I'm willing to just give it away, because the program is going to take much more than just this. I promise you. So if you want this code, hop on over in Discord and just say, hey, Eric, give me that code from May the 20th, that short strategy. But again, this is how you would do it. So what I was looking for is that number one, that we have a break of the 9-period moving average, and then 2, we have a high volume rejection, right? So that rejection there is a high volume, and then 3, we have a high volume move up, right? So the attempt to continue moving up, this attempt here has decent volume as well, and then from there we have a lower low. So we got a break of that lower low. Break. All right, I'm gonna put my music on, and I'm just gonna kind of jam away for a minute, and then when I'm done, I'm gonna hop off. Yeah, guys, so it's been real. Okay, and you see here, this is why a lot of people like trading the 9-period moving average, because just with that alone, if you trade the low crossing under the 9-period moving average, I mean, that gives you several good opportunities, right? Boom, 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 bam, thank you, ma'am. I mean, now all these in here get pretty crazy, and actually, like I said, I typically wouldn't go past here anyway, because this starts getting after 4 o'clock, and so you're after the normal institutional trading hours. So I mean, you know, how much more do you mess with this? You don't really mess with this there's just nothing more to do here, really. I mean, right? I mean, this is a great example of how keeping it simple can work in your favor, can be profitable. Yeah, that just worked on today. On today, that just worked. So, all right, let me glare at this for a few more seconds to see if I want to do anything else to it. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so for kicks and giggles, let's just take this and let's put this into a script and see how it would actually perform. So this is short template. File. Save as. Call this the crossing of the 9 under. So zoo. If I think I did the close crosses under x89, then trade equals true. So now we're going to come and we're going to bring this over here, short x89. All right. I'm curious, like I said, if we just bring that right over into a strategy, how good that looks, because that is so simple. And I think I try to make all of my scripts so much more difficult than that. Oh, I named that poorly. I put a number 1. That's crazy. Crazy. What? I fixed that? I know we need to close this out. Let's make sure we don't have any other scripts running. It doesn't like for multiple scripts to be running on multiple different charts. Status, customize, false. Yeah, that's what I said. That's how I meant it. Shouldn't have a problem with this. Huh. It does. That account is invalid? What you talking about? Because if we're having problems here, I need to change my entire template. Well, somehow I've got to figure out what get account ID is improperly being pulled up. So get the input account ID. Tell you what, I'm just gonna make that base. None of this would have get account ID anyway. So get account ID. I've got something on though, because something is still taking orders. And it's not on here. It's not on there. Chart trading, it's not there. Balance might be on this one. Nope, there's nothing on there. Well, what do I have taking orders? Oh, this is crazy. And it's automated. Clearly. But now, there's different ways to tell whether or not you have something automated on your account. If you see the A there, that means that you do have alerts going on your chart, right? So if I click in here and then I look at edit studies, click on here and hit edit studies, you'll see that I do have alerts on this chart. Yes, so alerts, yes, A, yes. Here, click on edit studies. Oh, there's an alert here. Typically that is saying that we don't have any alerts set up. And then SA is strategy automation. Let's see, double click in here. Alert. See? Alert, blue and white. Triggered, blue and white. See how that changes? Pink. This is for alerts. But I'm not sure why this one. Well, is it because? Not sure why this one doesn't have the A showing up. and there are alerts on. Oh, you know what it is? Yes, alerts are turned on. Yes. The study is turned off. Yes. No. Yes. Right? So even though the alert is on, the study is off. The alert is on, the study is off. Right? So we don't have any other ones on. So now if we go and we take this and we hit status and we turn this on, right? Now we hit close. Now we have the blue A, right? So that's just an easy way, like when you have multiple charts going on here, you can see, all right, I have alerts on here, I have alerts on all these. Now, actually, I need to turn alerts off that because I don't know if that's a good study to have alerts on with, so. All right, but then when you come to like the balance, well, so I don't have strategy automation on here, because typically I run strategy automation on here and you'll see the green SA right there, but I'm not seeing alerts on here, nothing on there. I don't know what I've got going taking orders right now. All right, there's another way to find out if you have multiple charts on, right? So I hit random scripts, right? And so you don't see any alerts up here. You don't see SA for strategy automation up here. You don't see that anywhere, but you're like, oh man, but I must have something up. So what you do is when you pull up the workspace, you go up here, you go to window, and it says, oh no, man, you don't just have one chart analysis screen, you have two, right? So you can click this, or you can click the, arrange all, right? But you see on this one, I do have the automation going on here. You see the green SA, right? So I can just go on here to edit studies and then strategies, and then I will turn that off. Once I turn that off, the green SA disappears, so we're good to go. All right, but I do need to close that position. Okay, and I'm working on here. All right, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to make this script just for the non-crossing under the, the close crossing under the non-period moving average. We're trying to see if that is a viable script, so we want to back test that. Essentially is all we're doing right now. So we're taking this, we need to turn it on, status, automate false sim 212 12, and now we want to optimize just by clicking on this, going to optimize. Okay, optimize, but we're getting this error. Argument account ID and call to method. And call to method. So it's saying whatever we have in the, whatever argument, whatever answer we have in that account ID is invalid. So let's check the properties window for flatten, OSOT. The one sends order, and then the T. Oddly enough, though, it shouldn't even be. You know what? I think when we brought, is it this? flash bar on chart and automated equal true and time is greater than 1555. And we have a position on of account ID equals true. And we're going to flatten. And that is input account ID. Something is weird. The only way I can kind of sort out if it's this right here is just by commenting this out. I'm going to comment that out, verify it, come back over here, turn it back on. Still gave us the same error. So it's not that. You know what? Nope. I was thinking the symbol type was off. All right, last shot, Eric. Get it together. Unless, oh, yeah, I'm brilliant. I'm so brilliant that I just, sometimes I'm not. Because in order, yeah, the account ID is not right. And I have to log this away in my memory. So that when I do get that error, I immediately come to it and I say, hey, well, what account do I have in there? You see this? Sim 2347479F. Sim 234. No, it's not. It's 237. 237. So I gotta put 237 in there. Yeah. All right. That's what happens when you're too fast. Again, man, when you're too fast, and that honestly, it can be a headache, but that's honestly what I love about coding, programming, and everything like that, is that if you're wrong, you're wrong. I mean, you know, sometimes at work, right, you get there 2 minutes late and your boss doesn't say anything. You're a hard worker, you know, no big deal. But if on here, if you have a 2 instead of a 7, no, it's going to be off. It's going to be, I mean, the accountability here is so high that, and you know, honestly, a guy like me, I kind of need that. So I love it. But if you mess up, man, it will not give you an inch until it's let you know that it's done with you. And I mean, it might run your brain dry. And it was starting to get me. But I was okay. All right, so again, so this script here. Now what have we got? Because this script here is take a short when the close crosses under the non-exponential period moving average. Okay, and now it's not going to take every single one depending on where your stop is or your take profit, right? So the take profit, actually it didn't even take profit here. It waited to the end of the day. I don't know what it was waiting on. You know what? It was waiting on some large move. I bet the ticks, right? So from here, 333 down to here, 324 is what? That's almost 10 ticks. 9 ticks. Excuse me, 9 points. So it's 9 and 4, 36 ticks. So I bet the number is more than 36. No, it's 18. 18 points or ticks. I think it's going by ticks there. So let's see what the rest of it did. Nope, just waited to the end of the day. Just waited to the end of the day. All right. When I see that, I know that's a red flag to me. That's saying that that it wasn't that the position wasn't exiting properly, because that should be exiting there. Because that's going to be using this information down here. So if trade is true, I'm going to sell short. This bar at close, counter equals to 1, greater than or equal to 3, average entry price, set stop share. Yeah, set stop share, set stop loss. 4 divided by, yeah. All right, so those are the ticks. Set stop loss. That's the stop. That's the limit. End, begin, end. Automate is equal to false and times greater than or equal to 1550. And by the cover this bar close. Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's just change that manually and see what happens. All right, so we're going to make it 4 ticks that direction, 4 ticks on either side. Still went to the end of the day. So did that. So, are we on the right one? Short XA9? Yep. Automated secret falls in times greater than did we change the name there? Input. Yeah. Right. You see this says stop offset. It says limit offset. If you go over to here, you see that the strategy is set up with what? Set up with stop offset, limit offset, right? And now when you go back down here to where the program says, yeah, stop offset, limit offset. Because I know I changed it. I changed it earlier, and it was still saying ticks. So that's right. Greater than or equal to 3, and average entry price is greater than 0. All right, so we were playing with this the other day, and I learned that set stop loss and set profit target has to be on for every single bar. If it's not on for every single bar, then it's not going to give you an exit. It's not going to allow or calculate the stop loss. So I put this print function in here to find out if we even get into this function inside this if statement. So I'm going to re-enable this print statement, and just make sure that indeed we're getting inside this statement, and we're not. I verified it over here and come back over here, and nothing is showing up here, right? So counter A is never greater than or equal to 3, while average entry price is greater than 0, which is crazy. If automated is false in Eric's market, then begin counter A. If counter A is greater than or equal to 1, counter A. You know what? Let's instead of seeing if we get down into here, let's print this. Let's just print the number 2 if we are adding to counter A. All right, so we're getting plenty of prints on number 2. So this is just a process of debugging, trying to figure out, you know, where your errors or issues are. But this is, I'm like working on a master template, and so like all this has got to be right, and I shouldn't have to change it and adjust it every single time. So like I said, I could have been working on a strategy tonight, but this is definitely more important. But so I'm glad I got a chance to work on it, but it shouldn't have been off either though, right? So all right, so sell statements. Why are we not getting in here? Okay, so let's print counter A. You better spell it right, boy. Counter A is equal to 2 2s. What we got? What we got? What we got? Everything is 2? No. Let's clear this. Now we're going to re-verify. 2? All the counter A's for every single bar is equal to 2? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. If counter A is greater than or equal to, what is going on over here? Let's get rid of this. That's in the way. Okay. If counter A is greater than or equal to 1, then we're going to add one more to counter A. If counter A is greater than or equal to 3, you know what? I feel like this is true on every single bar. Oh, it is. Oh my God. As Kevin Hart would say, oh my God. Oh my God. All right, so trade equals true. So most of the time when I write my scripts, I'll kind of go through a process, and the process also finds out that the condition essentially got turned off, right? So if close crosses under the 9-period moving average, then trade is equal to true. But the problem is, and this is what I didn't understand when I first started coding, this variable, this Boolean, it's a light switch. It's not a spring-loaded light switch. You know, a spring-loaded light switch, as soon as you turn it on, it'll click off by itself. And then you know, as soon as you turn it on, it'll click off by itself. That's a spring-loaded light switch. It has a base state, right? These variables do not. When you turn it on, it will stay on until you turn it off. Now, one of the things that I'll do is I'll say, before I come into changing the variable, I'll go ahead and say the base state for this variable will be false. At the top of every run, it's going to be false. And then if this so happens to be true, it's going to turn it to true. And then you can do whatever you want to do with true. But then when it comes back around, it's going to start off at false again. Now, when you declare your variable up here as false, this is just how it first comes into the very first bar of the chart. That's it. That's it. But then when it runs that second bar and that third bar, it's just going to be whatever it was prior. So you can do it like this, or you can say, if the close cross under the 9-period moving average, then trade is equal to true, else trade equals false. You can do it either one of these ways, but you have to do it one of the ways. Oh man, it's way too late. All right, so I'm gonna verify this and then we'll see what we got. All right, so once I verify that, we got a lot more orders. We come over here, we go to edit studies, strategies, double click on that, customize, and then we're gonna go to optimize, and then we'll see what kind of numbers we get. Okay, optimize, and then it'll run some come over here, and then we hit the curve, and the curve looks like this. So on the 5 minute period, on the 5 minute chart, if you were to take the close crossing under the 9 moving average as your entry to go short, this is what your equity curve would look like over the course of about a month. You would initially start off really well, and then it would just kind of move sideways, then it drop down, then it moves sideways. Okay, we do happen to know that when a chart is under the 200 period moving average, that it tends to be more bearish than bullish. That doesn't mean that you're not looking then for a reversal, so it's hard to say that. But and then you may even go on like a higher time frame. So like on the 15-minute time frame, if it's bearish, then you'd be looking to take this. But let's just make one condition. We'll say not only the close crossing under the 9-period moving average, but if the close is less than the 200 period moving average and the close cross under the 9-period moving average, then we're going to verify close cross under. All right, so max bars back setting, we probably need to go to at least 201. So click this status, turn it on, go to properties for all. This max bars back reference needs to be at least 201, so we have 200 bars back of historical data. So now we're going to adjust these numbers to see what it looks like optimized. And now our new chart looks even worse, right? So if you were under the 200 period moving average and the close crosses under the 9, that's not the time to go short. That's probably the time to go long. So let's just flip this around and see what it looks like. Okay, so we flipped that around. I verified it. Looks worse, but we haven't optimized it. So come back over here and optimize. And some would say this is the fun behind the programming piece, the R&D, research and development piece of it. Okay, so again, you didn't have that nice run up that you had at the beginning, and then that drop, and then that move over, and the drop, and the move over. You just kind of moved over, and then you dropped and moved over. So if anything, you just take this right back off. Verify it, and then like I said, then you go back over and you do your optimization or try to remember what those values were. So this is the okay. No, that first one looked better. Close cross on the number. Yeah, thought we had one that looked better than this. Okay, so we're gonna say if do I want to do that? I don't know if I want to go in there right now. I'm going to do it one time and then that's it. I'm not doing anything else. Okay, so we're going to add a symbol on here. We're going to add ESM24 again, but this time it's going to be the 15 period time frame. Okay, so 15-minute time frame here, 5-minute time frame here. We're going to say that the on the 15-minute time frame that you have to be bearish. Okay, so if close of data, and I don't even think you have to do close data 2 is less than SA200 data 2 and the close crosses under. So this is just saying that the close of the 15 period moving average is less than the 200 period moving average of the 15 period moving average, and the close of your current 5-minute bar is less than the 9 period moving average of. All right, so that is way worse. All right, so let's flip it. I mean, we probably should have optimized it before we flipped it, but anyway, that still looks better than the first way. So now we go over here, want to re-optimize. All right, no bueno. So to me, that just says that it's not significant. All right, then let's verify this. Either it's not significant, or we need to come up with some other filters or some other some better exit strategies to get out before the chart reverses on you. Yeah. Okay, didn't take a ton of trades. Got some drawdown there. This drawdown in here. Yeah, I said that's all I was going to do. But again, like I said, I've never known the charts to be that giving. The way it'll just give you money when the chart crosses under the 9-period moving average and you think you're just going to take that short and run with it. Nah, it's not just going to print you money like that every day. So there's got to be something else. There's got to be something else to help you along, like whether it be volume. Well, let's say the volume is less and ticks is less. So the ticks, or the volume ticks, is less than the ticks a bar ago. All right. Well, that one should have worked too, though. Well, if you do it that way, it only took 2 trades, but 100% profitable. And with that, we're going to call it a night. Because 100% profitability is okay in my book. But no, that's really not a large enough sample size, obviously, right? Let's move this back. Instead of 10 days, let's go back 50 days. I don't know why you do that. What you do that for? What you do that for? All right, so if you go back 50 days instead of 10 days, that's what you get. Excuse me. So now what you want to do is you want to optimize over this past 50 days, and you get a better idea of what your strategy would look like on a long-term basis. Terrible. All right, well, let's say that the ticks has to be greater than. Oh, wow. Is that the key? I mean, that's a big difference, right? So this strategy, after playing around with a bunch of stuff, which is not really the way that I like to do it, but you know, it works. All you're doing is just filtering. All you're doing is just coming up with ideas and filtering. But so all we're doing is we're saying that the 15-minute time frame, the close on the 15-minute time frame is less than the 200-period moving average on the 15-minute time frame, and that on the 5-minute time frame, the volume is greater than the volume 1 bar ago on the 5-minute time frame, and the close of the 5-minute time frame crosses under the 9-period moving average on the 5-minute time frame, then you're going to take it short. Okay, so here is a final final. But it's still not great though, because the stop is 7. So the risk is 7, the reward is 6. So that's roughly a 1-to-1 risk to reward, slightly on the other side. And again, that there is not terrible, right? So this is going back from March 11th. So from March 11th to May the 20th, just a little over 2 months with one contract of ES. You would have took that $1,700 that it takes to purchase ES. You would have turned that into an account of 4,700 because you would have made 3,000. All right, good deal. All right, so what is the risk to reward on that? 1-to-1, 12-to-12, which in my book, from what I've seen out of things, not terrible. Wait a minute, this is the automation template. What is the current one? Oh, ooh, not great at all. So you're risking 18 ticks to make 11 ticks. That's not good, guys. That is not good. All right, let me take a screenshot of this. Again, if you want this script, at least the indicator part, I'm more than willing to share that with you. Give it to you free as a download in the Discord forums in the library. So, as for now, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.